I wonder what her line of work is.
I don't know. That's all she collects, and she does spend a lot of money.
I wonder where you got this from.
I've got plenty of them. The content of the house came from an hotel somewhere in France where Queen Victoria used to spend her holidays.
Oh yeah.
Called Hotel Costabel. So there was a lot of old English stuff in there. And I think that's where that comes from, but I could be wrong.
J. Hudson & Co. 13 Bank Street, Birmingham.
This one is not a military issue.
No, this is civilian. The Metropolitan, I don't know. That's could be Metropolitan Railway.
No, the Metropolitan is the
Police.
No, it's the name. It's the brand name.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So
because it's two-tone. It's got the two different whistles, and I think, if I remember correctly, the railway used to use two-tone. The police used to use one.
Oh, right. I didn't know there was a difference.
Yeah.
So when you look at First World War movies like Gallipoli,
yep.
That's what they used similar ones, but there was a slight difference in the engraving.
Yep.
I did have a bit of a look to see what this one was. It's not one of the oldest ones.
No, they're definitely. I can't remember if it's one or two for the trains or police. I used to know that because I've got one at home myself.
Oh yeah. Well, it sounds like a train station.
I think
whistle
two,
to me, but I don't know.
for railway, and I think there's one tone for the British police, because that's how they used to call it for enforcement.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going.
9:21. Okay. So that's been about 40 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, have a look at this. Okay, a box full of little wood samples. That's beef wood by the looks of it.
There's more.
And that was all in the box.
Yeah.
See all this? Knife handle wood.
And a bit more. And a bit more. Too. I think that's it. That's it.
Now,
Well, some of them, yes,
rosewood. Where did you get all this wood?
from the tip.
You found it in the box at the tip.
Yeah. At the tip, we've got a little covered area called Treasure Island, where people drop things that may be used by others. And someone had some samples of some kind in there.
Yeah, well, this one.
Most of them have the name printed on them.
This one is beef wood. I know that. And that one.
It could be either beef wood or silky oak. This one is this one is silky oak.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the same. A lot of them are a bit too
Too soft.
but they can always be used for something.
But it's just amazing, you know.
I think they're pen blanks.
Yeah. These are the perfect size for pen blanks, because where I get my woods from sometimes at Lazarides.
Yep.
They sell a lot of pen blanks, and I look at it and say, why can't that piece be just a little bit bigger, you know?
Well, I find that for a small paring knife, something like this is enough.
Yeah.
That's the one we looked at
In the kitchen,
That's
yeah.
got the bevel handle. So no, they would be alright for small knives.
Yeah, so these are perfect for knife scales for the sides.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what you can find at the tip.
It is.
My first samurai sword I bought from a pawnbroker's for $75.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've got something else that's quite cool too.
You've got lots of things that are cool.
Yeah, well, I've got to keep myself busy. I bought that.
Ooh.
I've got another piece somewhere, probably in the house. Do you know what this is? It's very, very rare, and it's not something you see very often. The Star Wars knife handle was
Yeah.
turned out of a block like this. It's ancient red gum that was found in a quarry down in New South Wales.
Petrified red gum.
Yeah, it's
almost
yeah.
petrified, yeah.
Apparently, it's been carbon dated 5,000 years.
Jeez.
And
I
it-
knew it was going to be a hardwood or something because you can
Yeah.
tell by the weight.
Yeah, and when you work it, it's almost like ebony.
Yeah.
It's a bit brittle. It's really, 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 really nice. It's not cheap. It's about $20 a
Yeah.
block. But when the guys get some out, I always make sure that I buy one or two because I've never seen that before. And when I was talking to my mate who does the woodwork, same thing. He said it's not something you can find anywhere. It's a bit like this stuff, which doesn't exist anymore. Brazilian rosewood, about 60 years old. It's a bit like ivory. It's off market now.
God, some of those motorbikes are loud.
Yeah.
Almost has a tobacco smell to it.
If you put it through I'll show you what happens when you put it through the pen. I think that's the name rosewood comes from the smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you won't be breathing that dust too much.
Yeah.
Rosewood's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I buy all my timber from the Australian blade firm, Adam. What's his business name? Turning Timbers, maybe.
Turning timbers. Okay.
He's good because he always gets me exactly what I want. If I say I want this, that, or the other, he always makes sure that he gets it. And his price is actually good. And in the last order, he gave me 2 sets of scales of this one.
It's not often to see wood this dark.
Yeah. Because there's different types of rosewood. Like there's some in here. That's rosewood too,
Yeah.
but it's probably PNG or something like that, which is completely different to the Brazilian rosewood.
Kiji?
Yep. Yeah. Some of it I don't even know what it is. Don't know. Well, this one says snake wood, but I'm not sure. It's a bit big for a piece of snake wood. It's a bit soft. This one is a nice. That's a nice set. This one.
I love the grain in that.
Yeah.
Ancient red gum.
Oh, it's beautiful timber.
There you go. That shows up. Look.
Oh, it looks good on the camera. Look at that. And that I think is beef wood.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
more like it.
Yeah, it's a bit more dense
Yep.
and a bit darker. Silky oak is a little bit on the soft side.
Yeah, that's beef wood. Well, you've got plenty of
Oh, I've got
choices.
yeah, but it's good to have choice because when someone asks me to make them a knife, I ask them what sort of timber they like, and
Yeah.
and then I can send them a few pictures of what I've got, so they can choose what they want. I haven't offered any of these to anyone yet.
No, that's
That's special.
yeah, special projects only.
Yeah. Well, I think a set of these will go on a big chopper that I will take to the Sydney show.
Yep.
Yep. Well, this one will get a set of these. And on this one, the blade will be edged with the cornupia, you know, the horn and the fruit and
Yep.
veg coming out. And I thought that's a dark blade with a bit of polished, edged bits. The black with some nice pins would look quite good.
This one that you found before, it looks like it looks like being a good carving knife by the shape of the blade.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't remember this one. It's 2 mil 12C27. The rest is only
On the surface.
from on the surface from sanding. And that's one blade that had some foil stuck to it, I think, when it went through
The heat
heat
treat.
treating.
Mm.
But we can give it a quick test, actually. Do you know the rod test?
No?
No. You take
Is that brass rod?
yeah, brass rod, and you hold your blade like this, and you push down, and you see what happens to the edge. It's a bit hard to see here because you can see with the reflection how it's slightly
Curled?
curled, but
Yeah.
then when you take it back, it goes back to normal. So when you push down, the edge slightly curls, but then it springs back.
Oh, okay.
All right. If you've got a bad blade,
It'll stay like that.
let's try this one, see what happens. This one is a bit hard to see because it's thinner. It's either it springs back,
Mm.
or it stays like that, or it chips. That gives you an idea of how good or bad the heat treatment was.
Yep. If it swings back, it's good. If it stays bent, it's too soft. If it chips, it's too hard.
That's right.
Yeah. And you use just brass rod.
Just a brass rod, yeah.
That's a good test.
It is a good test. I do it on all my blades now, since I got that problem with the furnace, and I haven't found one that doesn't pass. Actually, even the very, very, very cheap, like $10
Yeah.
knives. You see, on this one, it's quite obvious how it bends
Oh yeah, you can see it there.
and then it comes back.
Yep, it's gone.
It's gone. So you can assume that
Yeah.
the heat treatment was done properly. You don't know how hard it is, but
Yep.
the blade's
Can you
got.
just do it again.
Yeah. All right. So let's try again. Oh, hold on. I've got to do it. Oh. If you put the edge like that, the same angle as if you were going to sharpen it, so about 20 degrees, and you push down, and you should see
Yep. Yeah, you can see it just there.
just there, and then when you move it,
It goes
It's-
back to normal.
it springs back.
Yeah. Cool. That's one thing I've got is brass rod at home.
Yeah. No, it's a quick way to check. I was
Yep.
reading about it the other day, and even some mass-produced knives do fail them sometimes.
I do like that. It's just a classic look, classic design.
Well, this one was actually a full-size
Machete?
Machete that I cut back.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask with that machete blade I bought in, that
Yeah.
Barang.
Yeah.
You wouldn't by any chance have not deer antler slabs like that, but the crown bit? Because what I'm thinking is,
Right.
because I've got a crown stump which is only about
Yeah.
this big.
That's all I've got.
Yeah.
I haven't got any pros. I only have.
Because if this if that had the crown on it,
Yeah.
that would go on, and the
Yeah,
crown would
yeah.
be at the end, so that stops
Yeah.
your hand from slipping.
But no, I don't. But then could be used like this.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Big chunky piece.
Didn't think about that.
But I haven't got anything else. I've got a horn here, but it's not enough
Oh no.
to
That's,
do anything with.
Yeah. See, that's the one on the right. That's twice the size of the one I've got.
Ah,
Actually, now that you pointed that out,
because that's how I was thinking of using it.
because I've got a couple of small pieces, thin ones, very similar to that.
Yeah,
I mean that's not too thick there, so it wouldn't take much
yeah.
to get the marrow out and slide
No.
that on.
It's a big one.
Mm.
Wondering if something like that could work.
Yeah, that can be that could be rounded off there, so you've got the handle coming down.
Yeah.
Maybe just take the corner off. This is what I do. I look at it through the screen, so when you see it through the screen, you can
Yeah.
see what it kind of look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an idea. I didn't think about.
The fork bit.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to find some good ones. This one is quite nice. It's very
Yeah.
straight. It's just the right size. So this one's going to go on the blade that we take to the shore. With a nicely decorated guard.
Yeah.
It would stick out just slightly.
Yep.
And it'd be good if I could turn a brass pommel on this one. Give it a bit of a Asian,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern look with a slightly curved blade of some kind.
So I knew if I was just to talk about it and not bring this along, you know, I probably wouldn't come up with any results. That's why I brought this in.
Yeah.
You know, so that, you know, I could actually like put something across and get some more ideas. And now that I've seen that, you know, it's totally changed my way of thought about having the crown at the end.
Yeah.
Because the crowns, you know, some of them, the bit I've got is probably only about that small.
Oh, okay,
you know, I got that
yeah.
bit there. So it's a stump,
Yeah.
which is all right for making like a Bowie knife or something like
Yeah.
that. But for the parang, I need, you know, a bigger chunk.
There'd be even other options if
But I think that will work. So I'll get one of my pieces, which I've got one which is thinner than this.
yeah.
Which I think it's about. It's about that thickness just there,
Okay.
which is enough because
Just enough, yeah.
the marrow, you take that out and then,
And then
you're
it
left
goes
with the
through
actual
that.
antler.
Yeah.
So actually getting that and actually sort of like trimming the edge off,
Mm.
that'll work.
You could almost, otherwise, if you wanted to make something quite simple, you could also use a piece of bamboo that you could fill up.
Yeah,
So these
Yeah.
ones have good grip.
yep. My neighbours has got a massive
Yeah.
bamboo plant, so I got plenty of access. I got to bamboo, yeah.
The temperature drops by 600 degrees within 2 minutes,
Right.
which is very easy to.
So what do you clamp them together with?
I'll just put the blades like this, that on top,
And that's it?
and that's it. Push a bit,
Yeah.
and that's it.
So you don't use any clamps?
No. Well, they're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So, because I haven't got any big knives in there, I may be able to put 2 at a time if I can get them out quickly enough. The problem is when the foil that you fold, it starts
Yeah.
catching in there, and
Yep.
you got to
You got to
wiggle
get it out
around. And
straight on.
yeah,
It's the same as people who oil quench from a forge.
yeah,
You know, they get it in there, they get it to temperature, they check it, they pull out, check it with a magnet, make sure it's
yeah,
dim it.
yeah.
But then they've got to put it back in to bring it back up to that temperature
Yeah.
again. Because in the few seconds it takes you to check with a
That's it,
magnet,
yeah.
it drops dramatically.
That's right. But with that steel, it doesn't matter that much because
What
it's
steel
still-
is it?
12C27, it's
Okay.
Sandvik.
Yeah.
It can be oil quenched or air quenched.
Yeah.
So I've taken blades out and just went outside and
Yeah.
moved them around a bit. The main problem with that is warping.
Yep.
Yeah.
So small knives, small compact knives is fine, but when you're talking big blades,
But the main problem has been with this sort of blades, because not only do they warp that way, but then they warp that way too. And then we warp like this here and the other way around at the bottom. So then you can't. There's no way you can get them back.
no.
If it's a thinner blade, something like this, it's not likely that it will warp one way here and another way at the top. So it's easier to fix. They often do bend a little bit because the foil is folded, so it
Yeah.
gets a little bit higher here
Yep.
So depending on how you quench them like this, sometimes you may have them just slightly bent.
Right.
Then you've got a little window during which you can put them in the vise,
Yeah,
just
and
straight
correct
after the
it.
quench, and correct it. And you've got to be careful because it'd be easy to bend them to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Just before doing the tempering in the kitchen oven.
Not far off.
5 degrees to go. So it's got to soak at 1080 for about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first batch with the furnace. I used Stewart one last time.
Yeah.
He's got the same one, maybe a little bit shorter.
No, I'd prefer something bigger because at least you know you can put larger knives in there. You can,
Yeah.
you can always put small knives in a small furnace, but you know if you want to make a big knife and you've got a small furnace, you're
But
stuck.
For the difference in price, I thought it was getting something a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Diagonally, I can put a piece of steel 470 mil long. So that's quite long. 470.
Yeah, because you go from the far left corner. across
Yeah,
the-
if you go
Yeah.
across. If I go straight, I can do about 450. But it's still bloody big blade.
Yeah, almost half a meter.
Yeah. I'm actually tempted
Some
to,
heat coming off that now.
Yeah.
It's a good place to put your cup to keep your coffee warm.
Yeah, well, like yesterday I had to
I
soften up.
Is that the 30?
Yeah. I had to soften up some resin properly there.
Yeah.
After my workout, my whole sweaty t-shirt can dry here. Well, I'm generally so stressed when I do this sort of stuff. I can't talk to anyone, but now I've got a new furnace
Yeah.
that does all the work for me, so far it looks more like a gentle walk in the park. And that's it.
Because you can see it, you can see the knife just in there, just before you put the
Yeah,
steel on.
yeah, you can see it through.
The foil cooled down, but the knife was still red.
Yeah.
So how long do you let it sit for?
Couple of minutes. And after a couple of minutes, you should be able to touch it. So I've wrapped it in foil twice to make sure that no air
Yeah.
gets in. So normally it should come with just a slight discoloration.
Yep.
And to finish it, I should just have to sand it to the last grit I used. So if it's 800, just
Yep.
800. If it's 1200, just 1200. And that should be enough.
Seriously.
Almost. The blade inside is still going to be a bit
Yeah.
hot, but
Well, you've seen it live. This is not edited.
so it's been what, maybe a minute and a
Yeah.
half, something like that. So now, let's see, and that you can use again. we go. I'll put this one aside.
The tongues are there.
Yep.
Straight.
Yep. Maybe a very, very, very slight. Tiny, tiny bit there. That's one. Make the workshop smell nice.
Baby powder everywhere. So you can see the blade.
Yeah, you can see through it. Always quickly. Do that. Leave that for a minute or two. You can see the red. So this one
That looks alright.
looks alright. It's just
Yeah.
a very, 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 very slight. Probably even, it's not even noticeable. Can't really see anything. No, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Just a bit, still a little bit hot.
Yeah,
I will-
don't burn yourself.
No, no. I will give it
File test.
a quick file test. Yep, happy with that. One ready. Number two. But this one is simple bush knife that will be wrapped,
Oh, cord wrapped.
cord wrapped, with snake skin underneath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, Japanese style wrap.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Tsukamaki. Tsukamaki.
yeah. What you said. Fairly straight.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
Yeah,
I can't see any warping.
no, that's good. No drama.
I was actually thinking, I just in my head then I came up with a design for a press, because you got 2 bits of steel and 2 bits of steel and you lift them up and put them down.
Yeah,
I'm thinking you get a frame that these two can be mounted on, that these other two can be mounted on the top, and it's literally like the door handle on that. You
Yeah.
just lift it up,
yeah.
put the knife down, close it.
Could use like an iron press.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah,
it's a
something
good
like that.
idea. Yeah. All right. Next one. Yeah, that's just a reminder.
So it only dropped by about
Just a
a
few.
few degrees,
Few
and
degrees.
it shoots up really quickly.
Yeah, 'cause it was 1080
Yeah.
something.
Now it's 78, 79, 80.
There we
Bingo.
go. That's good.
That's really
That's
quick.
very good. With the
Yeah.
with the other one, I had to wait much more. All right, quick test on this one. The first one worked. Doesn't seem too bad. Well, I did have a blade that was just a bit bent, so I fixed that. Now let's see if it stayed straight or if it moved a bit.
I think you need stronger scissors for that.
Yeah.
It's just where the fold is.
That's the one that may have bent a little bit. Not sure. Looks pretty alright.
Looks alright, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's sitting flush with the top.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's straight.
One to go. And it's done. So this one is gonna be the dagger. And when I put them on, I try not to scratch
Yeah.
too much because it takes a bit of time for the steel to quench, and sometimes I've made marks with the just with the plates. No, just a slight, very slight
At the tip.
at the tip. So I'll fix that straight away. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Yep. Look straight.
Yep. Yep, that's good.
Hmm. So this one is the steampunk. I think it's going to be quite a cool knife, actually.
I'm starting to recognise your designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
it's,
can now look at a knife and go, yep, Paul made that.
it's funny because even if you try not to do the same thing,
Yeah.
Like,
We all end up with a certain type.
yeah, I get the choil a bit like that.
Yep.
As you can see, I don't like Ricassos much.
Yeah.
I don't make them unless I've got to. Because to me, the Ricasso is just a bit of a wasted.
It is. It's space that doesn't do anything. Most people use it for the maker's mark.
Yeah,
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 you know,
yeah.
that's it.
But
But as knife design go, it's you know,
so
Ricasso does.
there is one, but you can't see it because it's been
Yeah,
blended
it's
in.
blended in. Okay.
Yep, not too bad. Do some quick test. Good. This one was catching a bit. Oh no, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought when you first did it. I thought
Yeah.
maybe it's in a certain spot.
But maybe the quench wasn't quite.
Yeah. But
No,
the
no,
edge,
I don't
the
know.
edge seemed to, you
Yeah.
know, didn't scratch. So that's the
It's-
important part.
It's not scratching anymore.
So
So some of these knives will never see the light of day.
yeah,
Right. The Star Wars is just a little showpiece that's going to be on a stand.
yeah.
Um,
Yes, you heard it right. He said Star Wars. I'll show you a little bit later.
this one, the steampunk, knowing the guy,
He will.
take it.
He'll
he
be
will-
a user. Yeah,
he will take it everywhere. He's a scout
yeah.
guy, and I'm sure that this one will be used. This one I'm not sure. The guy asked for a bush knife, but doesn't seem to be the sort of guy who would spend a lot of time in the bush. And that's the one I'm really looking forward to. My first ever dagger.
Yeah, but it's not just any dagger.
Now this one is very special.
Yeah. It will, that's the one that's, if you let it flat, it will look like that. See in the camera?
I can show you exactly what it's going to look like.
Is that the right one? That's
No,
the other one.
that's the other one.
Yep. Oh, that's beautiful.
So I think this one will be quite nice.
That's the shape, really. Need to get a dark background, don't you?
I still need to shape the guard properly, finish that.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Done.
Hang on.
There will be some etchings on the blade. There will be some voices etched on the blade,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be dressed with a wooden sheet
Yep.
with a rose inlaid, a black rose inlaid into it.
Cool.
I don't know if I should leave that in for too long. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
still-
I was, that's what I was just worried about. As long as that wasn't too hot, so
Yeah. The tongue
yeah,
cut out, so they had quite a bit to clamp on. Like this gets a little bit tricky,
yeah,
and by doing it that way, it worked pretty well. The bevels are pretty even, and
yeah.
the
Grind lines.
grind lines
Can't really see it there, but they do match.
they do
Yeah.
match, and then you've got to have these angles here matching too. So pretty happy with that. Beautiful.
Yeah. And all reusable.
Yep.
So all quenched in the space of 20 minutes, all of them?
Yeah,
From the
something
time
like
it
that,
started?
I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 minutes, yeah.
How long does that take to cool down?
I don't know. Well, it was at about 1080 just a few minutes ago. It should tell us. It goes down quite quickly. I haven't set it up for that, but I will set it up so I can do the tampering. 909.
9.
So it dropped by 170 degrees or so
In just a few minutes.
in a few minutes. But I've got to set it up so that I put it to whatever temperature I want. And if I leave the door open, it will drop very quickly. We tried that at Stuart's place. The problem is that then it looks like it's going to be right.
Mm.
You close it and it goes back up to 400 degrees. Normally you should have the tempering done within about 20 minutes after the quench.
Yeah. So you're going to temper in that one, or in the oven?
The kitchen oven is on.
Well, you think there's food going in there, eh? Hey? You think there's food going in there?
So I'll make this one a little bit harder than normal, probably about 60. 59, 60. That's about as hard as you can get them.
Yeah.
They won't go any higher. than that.
59 is a good temperature,
Yeah.
outside good Rockwell hardness for bushcraft knives especially.
But I find that 58, 59 is good because it's hard enough to keep a good edge.
Yeah.
But then you can sharpen it. I see knives at 62, 63. But
Too
then
hard. Yeah.
It's too hard.
What? What? But yeah, it looks just like a lightsaber. What was the wood on this?
Ancient red gum and